All right, so now that we have our skeleton in place for the ShapeNode class, let's go ahead and turn our attention to the public constructor. Now, as a quick reminder, back over here on the whiteboard in our requirements section, the public constructor needed to create and link a new transform node. It needs to set the new transform node's shape, pointing back to this new shape that we have created. It needs to set this shape node's name to the transform name plus shape. And finally, we need to add this shape node to the shapes list. So this is the 4 different things that we need to accomplish. So Logan, let's go ahead and jump back over here. Let's hop down to our public constructor and set it all up.
All right. Well, the first thing we need is our associated transform node. So we could say that this dot transform node equals a new transform node. And this is where we'll feed in the given name parameter. So we simply pass that down to transform node. So we have a transform node named to the desired name.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and turn around and call on the transform node's set shape.
All right. So this transform node, now set shape is probably commented out in the first one if it exists, because
that's a
shapes
very good point.
weren't in existence at that point. So before we can say set shape for the shape node, we'd probably need to go to transform node and add that ability in.
Yeah, that's very true. You want to go ahead and knock that out real quick?
Yeah, let's jump over to transform node, and let me jump in right below the set parent. Now this is going to be very simple. It could almost be done as a property, but since we only need to set it and we're setting it as an action, I'll put in a simple method, a public void set shape, which takes in a shape node called shape. And the only thing that we're going to do inside of here is say this dot shape, which I'll probably need to uncomment higher. I'll write it in first though. So this dot shape is equal to shape. That's all we need to do.
Okay.
Now remember, this field was left as a comment at the very top here in our field section, and we can now uncomment that and put it in because shape node has been defined.
Beautiful.
So we have our shape field added to transform node. Then we have a set shape method to allow us to associate a shape. So at this point, let me see, all that is simple enough. Now, going back to shape node, so now we can say our new this.transform node dot set shape and feed it ourselves, this.
Very good.
And that sets up the association.
Okay, so next we need to worry about the name.
All right, so let's take this dot name. Now that we have a transform node, we can get that transform node's name, add shape to it, and that becomes our name as a shape node.
Okay.
So this dot name equals this dot transform node dot toString plus just the word shape appended to the end.
Okay. And then finally, we need to make sure we add this new shape node into the shapes list.
All right, and that's simply shapes dot add this.
All right.
That should be all there is to it. If I build now, and that's it, build succeeded.
Okay, very good. We'll get to testing this out here very shortly, but at the moment, I mean, just looking at it, everything is doing exactly as described over on the whiteboard. We are indeed creating a new transform node, and that transform node is being named the name that we pass in to the shape node creation, or the public constructor of shape node. And we're now taking the reference for this new guy that was just created, and we're assigning it into our transform node field. Okay? So now we hold a reference inside this shape node to the transform node. So there's our linkage taking place. Then we turn around, and now that we have access to that transform node, we say take that transform node and call upon his set shape and link him back to us. So now we're linked both ways. Then we turn around and we take care of the naming by simply setting the name of the shape to the same as the name of the transform node with the word shape appended to the end of it. And then finally, we add ourselves into the shapes list. So that is it for this video. That's everything for the ShapeNode public constructor. Thanks a lot.